They might even specify what you have to play in a first round, or what sort of what they call the Pflichtstücke. That's what you have to do.
When this first began, I was a little thrown off.
It was such a surreal time for a lot of reasons.
Basically, in one day, we went from, okay, we're going to be going to work, to no work in the buildings at the COC for at least a week or two. And then, of course, now we're going 100% virtually.
We had just started rehearsals for Aida. We had just gotten into rehearsing this amazing production that was going to happen, and after a few days, we learned that it probably wouldn't continue.
Virtual training. Wow. When I first heard there was even the thought of doing it, I thought that no way, this is not going to work.
I think that it's so difficult with singing because it's different. It's simply different live.
I was a little worried, of course, because I'm definitely not the most technological person in the world.
Of course, it presents a few difficulties, especially with the collaborative pianists in terms of being able to play and sing at the same time.
Well, I think I was ready to really try anything. I think all of us in the Ensemble Studio, we wanted to be creative about how we were going to use this time.
For me, my first apprehension was that we wouldn't be able to really get detailed work in.
However, it actually seems to work really well, and it gives these otherwise kind of these days that could bleed into the next some structure, which personally is wonderful for my mental health. I assume it is for others as well.
I definitely was proven wrong. Virtual training is definitely possible.
Each day, we usually have a couple coachings with our fellow ensemble members. We've been talking about the texts of upcoming operas and discussing the complexities of a text like Parsifal or the theatrics of a text like Carmen.
Have a lyric diction coaching with Stephen Lee, which is wonderful. He's fantastic, and we're working through Don Giovanni right now, so that's nice to have a project.
Now
that's already most of the journey to where we're going, but it's still not finished yet.
Now that we've been doing this for a month or so, really, I feel like personally, I haven't really missed a beat in my training.
Doing some diction work with our coaches and being able to actually see, how their mouth or their tongue articulates certain vowels is really helpful.
He likes to show us sometimes the inside of his mouth, and with a camera on a phone or a computer, he can actually zoom in really far instead of having to do that in person, which is obviously, you don't get quite as close.
And we've actually found that for me, the beginning process of working on the text, speaking it, there were certain things that I was missing because I was going right into singing.
It's a very stable vowel, which is why we can sing it. There's no diphthong. Yeah? Yeah. As opposed to e.
By having to talk more and speak more through the text, and I've been able to actually improve the efficiency of how I learn stuff.
Another thing that's worked really well virtually is working with Jennifer SWAN and our movement coachings. What I really like is on the software that we've been using, Zoom, there's a view where you can see the coach and you can see yourself. And in these movement sessions, it's really helpful because it almost acts as like a mirror for me. So actually it kind of works almost better virtually.
And then gently, we're going to work those quads out, flex at the knee. Great.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, can you feel that and allow yourself to roll back and forth?
Another really fun project I've been doing is during some dramatic coachings with Julie, we're going through the entire Werther score and kind of looking at it from a directorial standpoint. So that's been a really fun creative project we've been doing.
What is her regular life and what's the world that Werther sucks her into? To me, this is an example of like the mundane, like I have to cut their bread every day and my rhythm is sort of like this,
Yeah, we quickly found out that playing music in real time didn't work. There's a lot of lag over the internet and depending on people's Wi-Fi connections and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, basically the the delay is always something that's hard, and sometimes it's more intense with some people. Wendy Nielsen, our singing teacher, is in New Brunswick, and she's near a lake, and I think in the forest, which is sometimes harder to have a good connection with her.
One of the biggest reasons that's a challenge is when we collaborate, we are looking to be responding very quickly to each other and listening and being sensitive to what the other artist is putting forth, and that's something that we can't really do in this medium.
I didn't realize how essential that was until you don't have it every day. And even on the days where you're not doing big performances, just to be in a room with someone else and make music together in real life, it's such a magical, special thing.
I'm trying to make a home bedroom / office / practice room because there's nowhere to work. Yeah, I'm so used to having just a room with a piano. We happen to have decent studios at the opera, but yeah, it is a luxury, and it's definitely taken for granted until it's taken away.
Sometimes it's a struggle personally because I have only an electric piano to work with here in Toronto. Fortunately, it has weighted keys, but it's still not ideal. But we all do the work that we think we can and what we can do best given the situation. I try to start every day the same way, which is playing a little bit of Bach. I'm pretty sure that this coronavirus at home time is probably my dog's favorite time of his life because we're always here. He could not be happier.
And we've been putting on this Spanish show on Netflix with Italian dubbing and English subtitles. So our entire family, including my Italian nonna, can all follow along and watch the same thing.
Cook a lot. I've been trying out new recipes. I tried a nice overnight no-knead pizza dough recipe and made some really thin dough and made a bunch of pizzas, and it was wonderful.
I've also been running a lot. I need a moment to get outside and trying to definitely respecting social distancing protocols and all that, but it's nice to get outside for a moment. I also do a lot of drawings and sketches, do some commissions, and so it's been a bit of a side hustle for me for a while, but it's nice to get to dig into that.
I have started writing a book. This has been my own little pet project that I'm doing during this time. So after I'm done with my ensemble day, which normally would end about 4:30, I write for a couple hours.
Whenever I want to listen to something for fun that's not classical or opera, I tend to always creep back to artists like Elton John and Billy Joel, that sort of 70s, 80s classic rock music.
And yeah, I've been cooking a lot, and I do yoga every day. So I've been kind of getting into a lot of different things.
The thing I'm most looking forward to after social isolation ends and we get back to our work life, I'm looking forward to perform it. I mean, our program is all geared to create performing artists, and it's trying to set us up to push us into being ready to be a professional artist who can enter the professional stream and audition and get roles, hopefully.
I also can't wait to just be involved in a show, to be in rehearsals, listening to whichever superstar that's here.
I'm just so excited to be back in the Four Seasons Center because we all know there's really no place like that theater.
We're opera singers, so our main job is being on the stage, right? So we live on the stage. That's where we shine, and that's where we get to show to the world and also share to the world what we do.
Once all of this is clear and we can go about our normal lives, that people realize the importance that is performing arts and live performance. Now I think in isolation, people realize how much it is needed and try to think about going through the day without some form of art, whether that's painting, doing something creative for yourself, watching something creative like a movie or some sort of digital content, or listening to music.
we all feel honestly transcended. You know, who would have thought we could transcend for one of these Zoom rooms?
I really miss everyone and the whole family at the Canadian Opera Company. I'm thinking about each and every one of you, and I absolutely cannot wait to see you all again and celebrate music and the arts in person sometime soon.